Hi guys, it's me again. I am back. It's been a very long time, and I feel that I've neglected you guys because I've been really busy. I've actually finished studying now and got my degree in nursing, which has been a very big challenge for me because the ones that have been listening to my video clips, I did stop taking medication a while back, and I didn't really feel I wanted to take more medication due to the fact of the dodgy side effects that I experienced. There's lots of people that have experienced the medication in a positive way, which is absolutely fantastic, and we have lots that have and do experience the medication in a very bad way. But I think I'm recording okay. It's been a while. Basically, yeah, I've been studying my ass off, and for you guys that have ADHD or ADD, know that studying is a big pain in the ass, and I've been basically um, whipping myself every single day for the last couple of years, actually sitting down and studying and studying and studying. And my motivation to do that, despite that I have ADHD and dyslexia, which doesn't help when you're trying to study, is the fact of my age. Basically, I had a psychological age barrier where I reached an age where I needed to get an education, and living in a different country and learning a different language, I had no choice than actually get myself an education, otherwise I wouldn't get a good job. So I've busted my balls off, and I've learned Swedish over a long period of time, just out of meeting friends and doing things and working. But um, yes, I've studied my arse off and become an assistant nurse, and I've really whipped myself hard to actually sit down, write, and read, and basically study all the things I needed. And the amount of things that was going through my head at the time when I've been sitting down at a table trying to read my books has been a tremendous stress to me, and a constant worry. But the good news is I'm finished, and the good news is that I've done it, and I did it without medication. And I know there's lots of you guys that do need your medication, and I'm not sitting here saying that it's just in a walk in a park, but for me it hasn't been a walk in a park. I've really busted my ass off studying. But what I want to say to you is that I did it because psychologically I had no choice. I had to do it consciously. I made a decision: if I don't educate myself, I am not going to get a good job. And that was my motivation to study. And that motivation was a very important thing for me, to actually have that motivation to basically strap myself down to the chair and try my best to read. And yes, I didn't do well all the time. I had those times where I would go off and have a coffee break, and my coffee break would turn into internet break, and the internet break will turn into email break and YouTube break, and basically I should have been taking maybe about half an hour break, having a coffee, and sort of rebooting my brain because my head was so full of information. I would basically call it an ADHD break, where you need to actually take yourself away from the information you're reading because it's just too much information, to actually reboot your brain to come back fresh and sit down and read. Um, and that motivation was my motivation. I was basically getting older, and I needed an education in Sweden. If you don't have anything down on paper, then you're not really going to get anywhere. And that's my motivation. And what I want to try and say to you is, for you guys that are really struggling with ADHD, which I am still, that if you've got the right motivation, the right means, the right goals, and the right thought of why you want to educate yourself, then that's more than enough to actually get you to sit down and actually do that education. I asked for help. I basically told my teachers I have ADHD, concentration issues, and dyslexia, and writing and reading in a different language as well. So I reached out and got all the help I needed. I'm not embarrassed to say I have ADHD. I'm not embarrassed to say I have dyslexia. Basically, it's something that I have. It's a handicap, yes, and sometimes ADHD is a good thing. It keeps me active, it keeps me fit, which is good when you get a bit older, you get a little bit slower, and the ADHD does actually help you with that. But yeah, I reached out. Don't be embarrassed to say to your teachers that you need extra help. And remember, ADHD is not something to do with your intelligence. It's your neurological condition where basically your neurons, which are the actual plug sockets to your thought patterns in your head, are not connecting, and it's going a bit slow. You know, it's like the tail with the hare and the turtle when they have a race. And the tail is actually something that you can actually really think about yourself having ADHD, but in the opposite way, where your brain might be rushing around like the hare, while the turtle is like creeping along because you're actually trying your best to get all your thoughts together, and that's a turtle part. But in the end, you get there. You need to try really hard. And I stumbled, I fell, and I've had so much anxiety the last couple of years and last few months of, oh my god, am I going to do this? But what I recognised was the actual subjects that I was interested in psychology and the psychiatric part of my nursing degree, was the fact that I could actually read and take in the information, and it is interesting to me, and I learn. See, what you got to learn the difference is, if you find something interesting, you learn, you remember, then you know yourself that if you try hard on the actually boring parts, then you'll be able to learn those too. And basically, I put the level so high for me to reach is because I needed to, because I couldn't like slack off. I couldn't not give myself a rest to say, okay, don't worry, take a rest, because of my condition of ADHD and concentration issues, and the fact of I wasn't on medication. And people that are not on medication, do have ADHD, that feel that do have the need for medication, I've actually found a good word for it. And basically I actually say that I'm going solo, and people don't really understand what I mean. But as I'm going solo, as in like I'm in need of a medication in many ways, but I'm actually doing it without a medication. So I'm actually going solo. I'm actually going with my gut. I'm going with my feelings, and I'm really trying to break through to find the best way to win over my my difficulties. Basically, I got my degree. I did really well. Some of the subjects were boring, so I got like just normal marks. But my goal was to just pass, even if it was the minimum mark, because that's what I needed to do, is just to pass, to prove myself that I can, after all these years of messing up my childhood and being ADHD, not listening in school, now being an adult and needing to actually make a change and actually take responsibility for my life, because ADHD continues, and it will continue until the day you die. Things will slow down, like the hyperactiveness, because you get older and you don't necessarily want to start running around because you get more tired. But the concentration issues are a big deal. If you can't concentrate, then everyday things can be actually a big problem. But basically, I asked for help in my studies, in my exams. We had 3-hour exams, but I asked for 4 hours because I needed the extra hour to stress, basically, because every time I sat down to do an exam with 3 hours, I would stress that the time is actually getting lesser and lesser, and I'm like, oh my god, I've only got 2.5 hours left, so I would be actually concentrating on actually time sort of disappearing rather than actually the time I'm needing to actually write. So I got my 4 hours, and I spent that time relaxing and thinking, now I've got lots of time. I did really well. I wrote lots of pages. My teacher was very pleased, and I was shocked that I did very, very well. And I had a hard time taking all that praise, because I'm not used to praise due to my difficulties. And basically I did it. But what I want to do is basically say to you guys, you know, if you're not on medication, you have ADHD, try your hardest. If you don't try your hardest. And get help. Get every help you can. Don't be ashamed. It doesn't matter. As long as you pass, it doesn't have anything to do with intelligence. It's just the fact that the brain is processing too fast, and the part of concentration is all messed up. It's got nothing to do with intelligence. It would take maybe a little bit longer time for us to process and take information. That's the only thing that I'll say about that. But basically, I'll just like to say that I'm back. I'm not studying anymore. I'm sorry for you guys that I've wrote comments. I haven't got back to you, or I have got back to you. It's just because I've been, stressing my ass off, and I've been really trying doing this, and I'm done now. So I'm gonna try my best to actually update you on a few things. I've got some good things I want to speak to you about. ADHD and the relationships, but I'm not going to say anything in this video because I need to basically go through my thought patterns and think about what I'm going to say and come up with some really good pointers. And your comments that you write in as well are really helpful, because you actually turn on that little light in my head and get me thinking when you say things or you're wondering about things, and that does actually help me to speak to you guys about different issues. But I'm back. I know this video is probably not really helpful, but again, I'm done with my studies. I've busted my nuts off, and I'm saying that you can do it as well. Just try and get every help you can, and whack some comments in there, get some ideas in there, and I'll get back to you about the ADHD in adults, basically, and relationships, and come back with some more feedback. But it's nice to be back, and nice to speak to you guys again, and I will speak to you very soon after I think about what I'm going to speak about in my next video about ADHD in adults and relationships. But have a good one. Fight hard. Fight the ADHD fight. You can do it. I know you can. I'm doing it all the time. I'm just like you, even though I'm sitting here and you guys might be thinking, okay, yeah, he's one of those guys that might have it, but I'm actually the same as you. I'm a normal dude. I'm just, going through rough and doing it and trying. But anyway, I'll let you go. Thanks for listening. Sorry if I'm just babbling on, but I'm excited to be back and excited to help, and you guys help me too. So see you soon, guys. Okay, bye.